you beautiful souls. So today I'm going to be doing a card reading. Is going to be, why is my body keeping this weight? And the intention for this one is just to really get to the root of why you might have been struggling despite your diet, despite your exercise routine, despite changing the times you eat, the things you eat, how active you are, whose advice you take, what supplements there are, you know, just whatever it is. I just find that if the body has a reason for keeping it, it will not let go of it. So we're really going to try to dive in and see what is going on there for you all. I know that weight is something that we all struggle with in different phases of our life, and I've found that friends, both female and male, have had a really hard time with this, especially my male friends. I always thought this was more of a female thing to worry about, but once I really got talking about it with some of my male friends, I realized that their self-esteem and their value is put on such high physical standards. So it really made me realize that this is a universal problem, and that discomfort in our body, discomfort with our own personal weight and how we look, whether it's that you feel you have 5 pounds too much, 10 pounds too much, 100 pounds too much, whatever it is, we all feel equally uncomfortable when we think we aren't the weight we should be. We're going to be looking at what need is this providing your body. Then we're going to be looking at what does your body need to start to let this weight go. Thirdly, we'll be looking at when and where did this start? What's the root cause of all this? And that might be answered by one, but I just really wanted to put 2 questions in there to really make sure we get to why this is happening. Why, despite all of your effort, despite how many things you've tried, it hasn't worked. And lastly, we're going to be asking for advice and guidance from your highest self to help you with this unwanted weight. I really want to reiterate that I am going to be asking your highest self, because I know that so many people can give us advice. I even thought, I don't even want advice specifically from your guides and angels. I really want advice that yourself, you, your highest version of you, intuitively knows your body needs. So that's all I have for what we're going to be looking at. We are going to do a Reiki healing at the end of this for the collective. That will be at the very end for everyone. I got some really new big crystals to help me do distant Reiki. So I'm really excited. I've used it on a few people now, and they've all said that it's been super powerful. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm so grateful that these crystals came into my life, and now I get to utilize them on this channel as well. So that will be cool. Maybe you can see, if you can see the difference between distant Reiki from this card reading from the other ones, if this one feels a little stronger or not. Okay, so I'm just gonna pull some cards to give you 3 piles to choose from, and yeah, I'll just be a second doing that. All right, so for pile 1, you have this Fluorite card to choose from. If you want to read what it says, you can look in the pile selection. I'll have it there. Citrine is for pile 2. And pile 3 is amber. Okay, I'm really excited to get into this. I think this is gonna be a really deep and a really insightful card reading for everyone. So yeah, I'm really excited to do it. Just a little reminder, as always, please ground yourself, especially when we're talking about things that are very vulnerable and that are very emotionally close to our hearts. So it's always best to start by being grounded. If you don't know how to do that, the easiest way is to take 4 deep breaths. I like to do down, in, sorry, that didn't make any sense. I like to picture breathing in light from coming from above my head, breathing down through my nose all the way to my stomach or my core, and then breathing it out through my mouth. I just like doing that because it feels like a really good harmonious circle of air through the body. I feel like it really, for me, it makes me think of that life force energy coming in and clearing out anything that I don't need, any anxiety, any fear, any stagnant energy, and then releasing it out through the breath to be transmuted. So I like that. The other thing that is quick and easy to do is to picture the balls of your feet having roots growing down all the way to Mother Earth in them. And if that doesn't work, some people even just like drinking water and find that very grounding. But for me personally, that doesn't feel grounding enough. Okay, so I will let you choose your piles now, and I'll see you all in your card readings. Okay, pile 1, you chose the Fluorite card. I actually had some sitting near me, so I just thought I'd put it into the video so you could see it. Okay, so let's just put them all down and then see what we get from these. Okay, so pile 1, when I was asking the question, what need is this extra weight providing for your body? And when and where did this start? What's the root cause of this? I was mainly thinking about that when I chose these 4 cards here. And hopefully this will spark something in your own minds when I say this, but I get that the words DNA, like I can't stop seeing this and being like, this is clearly DNA, a strand of DNA. And I feel like what your body believes, or what your subconscious has told your body, is that this is in your DNA. This is something that it doesn't have a choice in. It's just genetically in your body to be this way, or to I don't know, I hope that makes sense. I just see that like yeah, that it believes, your body believes that there's nothing about it really can do. It was genetically predisposed. It's in your DNA to be this way. But what I actually got is that you were taught this. So everything I see here, so I see seeing emotions as teachers. I see this and not being connected to a supportive, like to that collective, that unconditional loving energy, whether you believe in God, universe, source, you believe we're just all made out of like this really cool cosmic energy, whatever it is, it's telling me that your body felt disconnected from that. So that's where it's telling me like the real emotional root cause was when your body decided or felt the need to start keeping weight, was when it felt disconnected from this, from basically the oneness of the universe, the other people in the world. It could even be that your family didn't even support you. It doesn't have to be that you consciously felt that disconnected, but I feel like in the larger scheme, that's what happened. But it would also look like your family not being able to support you, them having, I feel like some of them might have had maybe some mental illness, meaning they might have had like severe depression. They may have had other illnesses that kept them from being emotionally available for you or as a healthy support. And I see that the body started keeping this weight when you kept feeling these repeated negative emotions of, say, like loneliness, not feeling lovable, not feeling loved, not feeling worthy of time, not feeling heard, not feeling appreciated, all those things that we as humans really need in our close support systems, in our family systems, to really feel healthy and know how to maintain and regulate a good, healthy energy flow, body system, all that stuff. I hope that's making sense. I really see this being like a younger version thing. You could have been, I even think like some of you might have been struggling with your weight since you're in kindergarten or something like that. I don't know if some of you aren't from here, if you say kindergarten, but basically when you first started school, you might have been like a little bit overweight for someone in that age group, and it made you uncomfortable. But how I see this is that this is essentially one of those generational pattern breaker things where your family, I believe, has struggled with this. Members of your family have struggled with this, whether it's just all the females or it's all the males or it's everyone that have struggled with feeling good in their bodies in a comfortable weight. That it's actually not the weight that is essentially the thing that's in the DNA. It's actually this not knowing how to properly feel safe and loved and connected to your community, to your support group, to like that oneness of the world, that God energy, that universe energy. It's telling me that this is kind of what the body's doing, because if you don't believe you have a connection to that, every time you breathe, you're not really clearing out and reconnecting yourself to that cleansing life force energy, which means your body is trying to figure out how to make up for that on its own. So how I would see is that I find anytime the body feels cut off from a support system or from love, it will put on weight because it feels like it needs to protect it. Sorry, cat. So what I was saying is, I feel like for this pile specifically, sometimes we can hold on to weight to feel protected and it will be like an armor, but I don't get that so much for this pile, as I feel like the disconnected from feeling loved and supported by your environment, by your family systems, by the universe, has created this feeling of loneliness. And it says worthiness here, but I actually get that you might not feel quite lovable. You might not quite take deep breaths and really accept in that life force energy, because in this family, it's kind of been taught through generation that they're not good enough. And it's very unconscious, I have to say that. Like I feel like, for example, you might not ever have had a parent say directly to you that they didn't think they were good enough or that they didn't think they were lovable. But I feel like that is the limiting belief. That's a story that is literally in the body, in the people in your family. And it's like an ancestral thing happening here. So when I see that it's the DNA, it tells me that this is actually a story, a limiting belief that's been with the people in your family for so long that I see it as having gotten passed down to you. And the environment that they would have created and taught you when you were growing up in would cement that belief in you. And that's when I see you would have stopped taking like really good breaths, when you would have started to feel like there wasn't a support system. And then I feel like then you would feel the only other thing that we have is food is very comforting, and it can produce a similar sensation of happiness, but it wears off. So I feel like for you, it's the root cause of all this is really this belief that was passed down to you, that has been in your family, about not being lovable, not being deserving, not being good enough. So the way through this is recognizing that you are lovable, and that a limiting belief is something that isn't true. It's just something that for some reason a parent, an adult, believed. And when we're kids, we can really easily take on weird beliefs like that. Like if you tell an adult you're not lovable, it sounds strange. It sounds a bit weird. But if you tell a kid that, they just accept anything as their truth. They're very trusting. They're very open. And that's how I feel like it got, into all of you. So it's tricky, and I think this is why the fluorite showed up. It's a very healing stone, and how I see it is it helps us to see and know our true value. To really understand that we're ready for healing, we're ready for overcoming any difficult situations, and we're ready to make better decisions for ourselves. So I think that could be why you were drawn to the fluorite. It's definitely a very healing stone. So I'm hoping I clarified this good. So the solution to how to start to shift this for you all, the big one is realizing that is not true. You are so lovable. You're so lovable. You make people happy. You bring love into people. You are worthy of it. You are more than good enough. And that this pattern of only finding support and comfort through food will shift once you realize just how worthy, beautiful, and lovable you are, because you are going to start to find, like, I feel soulmate relationships. This can mean specifically romantic, but I think for this pile, I even see it as finding a support system that is healthier. People who see you and love you, and they check in with you when you're having a hard time. They're like, hey, what's going on right now? You haven't seemed like yourself. Are you having a hard time? And like, they will be that healthy support, comfort, and that just having that energy in your life is really going to be helpful in getting rid of this secondary need, because once this need is met of feeling supported, loved, and cared for, I really see that this is your way out of that, out of maybe comfort eating, out of stress eating. I know they see things like that, but all those things really accomplish trying to get support and comfort from a thing that honestly can't really offer it to you. So I'm just going to read these cards just to really make sure you hear them. It says worthiness. Know that you deserve to receive good in all ways. Very beautiful. And then the soulmate relationship, it says new romance with a spiritual basis is here for you now. So that is also really cool to see. The other way I see this too is like with the dolphins, is I feel dolphins are always in multiples. So this is why I really feel like this is like a tribe coming your way. And it will help you. It won't be the be-all solution, but it will help you, because it will have to be a lot of it realizing just how lovable you are and how deserving you are. And setting these higher standards because you know you deserve it is what shifts things in your life. What shifts you being able to let go of any other kind of like things you were doing to try to get this need met. So then this says, see your emotions as teachers. Emotions can be vehicles for transformation. Emotions can be vehicles for transformation. Whether joyous or challenging, they can teach you how to overcome fear and cultivate compassion. So this is a really beautiful card for saying that now when you have the overwhelming need or the compulsion to go to whatever that snack is that normally would make you feel good. If you just even find yourself like suddenly eating like a lot of popcorn or something, this is saying with your awareness, take a moment to breathe and ask yourself, why is this happening? What is going on? And if you feel not great or panicky or anxious. It's saying use this as a teacher to see what triggered that. What was happening that made you feel this way? Because once you start to pick up on that emotional trigger, you're going to realize what is causing it. So if it's a bad situation, if it's a certain person, if it's a certain interaction, if it's a specific type of job, then you're going to see that by changing that or removing that from your life is going to help get rid of this even happening within you. So it can be a really cool way to really see what is going on within you that your body isn't liking, that your emotions are telling you it doesn't like being there, that it needs this support from food or this nurturing side that food can offer. And then energize yourself with earthing. Walk barefoot or stretch out on the grass. Put your hands in the soil or hold a stone. Let the earth restore your strength and ground you. So this really resonates because I just really see that you need to reconnect with that life force energy, whether it's God, whether it's your universal energy, however you see it. It's really wanting you to reconnect with it, and that in itself I think will also help you literally lose the weight. I feel like the emotional side will help you not feel like you need the food for comfort, but this I think is going to help you start to shed the physical weight by going outdoors. By, like I said, if you like gardening, I picture a lot of you just putting your hands in the dirt and just touching it. That feels really good. Sitting in a park, like they really want like that grounding aspect of your skin on earth. Whether you go to parks and you like to walk and touch the trees, whatever it is that draws you in or feels right for you, it's really encouraging you to do this. And even if you can consciously try to breathe, say you take 5 deep breaths every morning, and you consciously say as you're breathing in, I'm breathing in life force energy, and it's releasing any dysfunction, any anxiety, anything that no longer is serving me out of my body. And just say that in your head, then breathe in and out. And I know that can seem really silly, but you would be surprised how breath work and intentionally breathing in, literally, I always say life force energy, will change the chemistry of your body. I've found it personally amazing for me in my life. It's like the quickest thing I've ever done to create change is just doing breath work. 3 breaths a day. It'd be better to get to more than that. But if 3 is all you make it to, that is so much better than none. So I'm just going to put that out there. Okay, and getting over to these cards here. So these two here at the top were originally for what does your body need to start to let go of this weight? And this was advice from your highest self to help you with this unwanted weight. So I might have answered that a little bit here, but repetition's always good, especially in card reading like this. Okay, so advice, you know what, I actually do kind of want to start with advice from you, your highest self, Fluorite. So it says, have you been unable to focus on complex tasks? You are an intelligent being. You can lovingly accomplish whatever you put your mind to. Develop your inner genius. Educate yourself in areas you feel your knowledge may be lacking. And then this is a little affirmation they give on the back of the cards. It says, Angel of Intelligence. I am an intelligent being with the ability to focus on complex tasks and figure them out. I enjoy researching and learning new things. I am hungry to gain knowledge. I am smart enough to realize that I can always discover new information. That's really cool. What I got for this one when I was first looking at it, is it was telling me that you might have some, there might actually be some education around food that you might want to look into. Maybe just even like what foods cause inflammation in the body, what foods are good for your physiology, for where you are in your life. It could be something around that. It just told me that there might be something related to health that you have thought about looking more into, but it seemed a bit overwhelming at the time because it just seemed like a lot and a lot of work to do. So the advice here is don't put limits on yourself. You got this. You're so smart. You're so good at learning new things, and this is going to be great for you overall. So it's saying don't be afraid to take the leap. It's going to help you overcome the situation you're in. Jade. So it says, how is your health? What's going on for you financially? Take the necessary steps to improve your well-being. Eat health-promoting foods and incorporate exercise into your daily life. You have good fortune and live a charmed life. That's actually really cool. I didn't know there was a card in this deck that actually talked about food and exercise, so that's really cool. So, Angel of Health, Wealth, and Happiness. I am healthy, prosperous, and happy. I'm grateful for and enjoying all of the gifts that come into my life. All is well. I am joyous, and life is good. I have gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Really beautiful card. Yes, so just after reading that one, I really would think that this card is referring to gaining more knowledge on what's best for you, because there's so much different like diets out there and types of exercise, and people say you have to do cardio, people say you have to do heavy weight training, people who say basically the opposite of what someone else said. So you really just follow your intuition and go for what feels right to you. If you feel like you need to incorporate all things in your diet, then that's probably the right call for you. If you need fats, carbs, sugars, go for it. You know what's best for you. Okay, so now just looking at these, it says love who you are, speak the language of love. So this was for what does your body need to start letting this go. Love who you are is a really great card for this. Says you are divine, delightful, and deserving of the wonderful things life has to offer. So that really goes and says it all right there. It definitely complements this worthiness card. Very beautiful. Yeah, and how I really see even like the two different energies here is that like this card over here feels like I said a bit lonely and a little bit sad, and that's kind of like where and why this all had started. But when I see this over here and it says love who you are, I see that places where you thought you could never go, experiences you thought you could never have, and even think like the power, the self-empowerment that you will have through doing this, finding these like support systems and really knowing and working on your self-love and knowing how lovable you are and how deserving you are is so freeing. Like, I don't know if you see this card, but like, does that not look like a super free person? Anytime I see a rainbow, I love it because it just means like everything's like clear and changing. It's just great energy. So if you're asking, well, how do I get there? How do I just start seeing my value and feeling that self-love for myself and all this stuff when I previously haven't? The first step it's saying is to speak lovingly to yourself. So it says loving words have the power to change lives, including your own. And this really makes me think of how you talk to yourself when you're having a hard time, like when you're struggling with something, to figure something out or to do something you haven't done before. I really see it as saying pay attention to the internal language that you may be using with yourself. So if you say, oh, I'm dumb, oh, I can't do this, I always do things wrong, this is all really saying to be mindful of that and watch out for that, because that's that old pattern coming up, that pattern that you were taught. And just another thing I want to point out here is I see these two kids looking at this flower and it has like a dragon in it, and I really see that dragons as a representation of empowerment. And how I see this is the best way to change this is to empower yourself and really see how fierce and strong and capable you are. Yeah, and I really like that this dragon feels like it's in your heart chakra. And I really want to say that it's not like a mean dragon, a defensive dragon. I just see that it's just this empowered version of you to step into. And once again, I do want to, when I see these two kids, I do think this is another representation of having a support system, finding people to trust, but also that it's important to be that kind parent to your inner child, to this younger version of you that could be the person of you who was overweight and you didn't like in kindergarten. The other thing I keep noticing is all the moons, that they're kind of a little less noticeable but in the background. This is a really good symbol for me that's saying that this is the not so fun shadow work stuff that people talk about, is seeing these vulnerable parts of ourselves and knowing that the only way to free ourselves from them is to look at them, acknowledge them, and give them the nurturing and love that they need. And I see that as being the thing that creates the change for you all in losing this weight and keeping this weight off. Because I feel like even previously when you've changed your diets, you couldn't shed the weight, or you couldn't shed it fast enough that you ended up just going back to those foods. And it wasn't sustainable, these previous diets, because I don't feel like you had that nurturing aspect that was coming forward to be compassionate and gentle with yourself when it was feeling scared, or stressed, or nervous, or worried about a situation. So I'm hoping that knowing and just having this as a confirmation for you all that this is the part that your emotional side of you, this inner child side of you, however you want to look at it, is needing to let go of food, because that's what food is providing for it. So just to really sum this up before I end this reading here, is that the need that this weight is providing for you is essentially that your body. So just to summarize everything up here for the end of this reading, is the need that this weight is providing your body with, that reason why it's staying is essentially because of the need your body has to feel supported and comforted and worthy and lovable. And this food replaces that need temporarily, which is, I feel like, a direct contributor to the weight gain or the weight challenges that you're having. The reason why I see it started was because your family systems couldn't help support you, couldn't give you the comfort and nurturing that you needed as a child. And they also didn't know how to give it themselves. Like I said, I see this as an ancestral pattern, genetic pattern. So the really empowering thing here is that you can be the person who changes this for your family. If you have children, if you want to have children, you literally stop this pattern with you when you overcome this. So that's really powerful stuff right there. Which is also why it's not easy. Big, powerful things are never going to be things we can just do just like that, because they're literally changing the whole genetic ancestry or genetic history of your line. And another thing on that note, if you're into energy work, when you break a genetic or an ancestral what is the word I'm looking for? Pattern like this, when you break it and you free yourself, it actually becomes easier for, they say, 7 generations before you. So if you have, I doubt that great grandparents of yours are still alive, but for your parents, it can become easier all of a sudden for them than it was before. And for your grandparents, it can become easier for them, and great grandparents, and so on. So that's also like a gift. It literally energetically shifts things in the world when you break generational patterns. So then how your body would like to be supported is by reconnecting intentionally with like that life force energy, and finding support systems, good people who will support and comfort you in a healthy way. But also the very key thing here is not looking outside yourself for this comfort, but also being able to do it for yourself, and then having the support system as a support system, not as your only system. So as you do this need that the food is fulfilling for you will start to slip away. And then the advice from your highest self was to try by just speaking more kindly with yourself, and in times where you're feeling overwhelmed, scared, or worried, I know it sounds annoying to say take a breath, but literally breathing will, if your shoulders are really tight in your ears, it puts your body in a stress state. Taking a deep breath a few times will actually loosen the body, and physiologically will put it in a more relaxed state. So that's why people say breath is so important, because you can literally trick your physiology into thinking it's not as stressed anymore. So you can try doing that, and then it might even be easier after you take a few of those relaxing breaths that help the shoulders come down and not be really tense, to be more nurturing and understanding and compassionate with yourself. And then the other thing is just try doing some self-love exercises. They might seem really annoying right now, but it's saying, as annoying and uncomfortable as it seems, this is your key to freedom. Loving yourself is how you're going to love your life. And also the very last thing to sum up was to don't feel overwhelmed. Do the research, find out what's right for your physiology, for you. Follow that intuition of yours. Really learn more about you, about yourself, about what it needs and wants. And this is really going to be a big journey, but it's going to be such a game-changing journey. And to remember that your emotions are ways of telling you what's going on within yourself. Something is not right. A person might not be very good for you. They might be causing more stress than needed. They might be putting you down because they feel like they have no value. There might be a job that causes you more pain than it causes you financial growth. So just to pay attention to those emotions. Okay, you think this is all I'm going to say about this? I really hope that this brought some clarity, some understanding, some confirmations for you all. Yes, but like I said, if anything doesn't resonate, you just leave it on YouTube. It's okay. It's a general card reading. There's always going to be some things that aren't specific to you, and that's okay. Follow that intuition of yours and do what's right for you. Hello, pile 2. I actually had a piece of citrine near me, so I just decided to put it there for you. Okay, I'm going to put down the cards and then see what you all got. Okay, so when I saw citrine chosen for this card, or this card came up, I should say, I first thought, oh wow, okay, this pile is ready to have more energy, and they're ready to be more joyous and receive more abundance in their life. So I love that energy. I love that deciding you want that for yourself. So let's see, where should we start here? Let's start with, what need is this extra weight, or is this weight providing your body? And where did it start? When did it start? Okay, that was a very clear answer there. Okay, so what I got here was that your body is keeping this weight, and this is actually a pretty common reason why a lot of people have extra weight on them, I find, is that their body is like the first layer of protection before sorry, I'm not wording that right. Your body is a physical barrier, a form of protection for your soul and for your energy. It's not a very effective one if you don't want to if you're not saying no and setting boundaries, then people can still take the energy. But for some reason, a lot of our bodies think, if I hang on to extra weight, if I put more layer between me and my soul energy, then people can't get to me. And this is what I see for this pile, is that I see that setting limits, that saying no and setting up boundaries with people is really what your body was needing. But I don't think you had the tool, or you didn't know how to do that at that time or at previous times in your life. And I get that it was like a very much like you felt like you had a lot of love to give, you have a lot you could give, and you would get a lot in your head about it. Like, well, if I did love them, I'd do this. Or to love someone means that I give them all that I can, or I give them everything of me. There's just like words like that I get for this pile. Oh, sorry, my camera turned a little bit. Ooh, sorry, that seems slightly not straight. Okay, sorry, got me sidetracked. Okay, well, just in case that's really bothering someone, I'll try to make it straighter. Not sure if that did anything. Did a little bit of something. Okay, sorry. So I feel like there were some things that you were taught through a role model. I'm going to assume parents. It's usually our parents who teach us that this is what we have to do to be loved, or to receive love, or be lovable. And I think this is just where this came from, is that something in your childhood made you subconsciously or consciously think that if you denied someone something that you could do because it would exhaust you, you weren't being a really loving, good person. Something along those lines. You weren't doing enough. You weren't being good enough. Just, I really get the good person kind of energy here. There was a big worry around not being a good person. So when these limits were basically told they were not allowed to be set, this could also mean that you could have had a very, what is the word? There can be some like emotionally manipulative parents. It could be narcissistic tendencies. I don't think this is for everyone. I think some parents here were just very overgiving and had no boundaries. But I don't want to discard that, because there might be a couple of you who just had boundary breaker parents. Or it actually, you know what it could be? Sorry, it's just sometimes the more you speak, the more it makes sense. Was that one of your parents had a tendency to date or have friends that were boundary breakers, and you might have seen that they would always overgive, and you just might have caught on at that age that that's just what a good relationship is. That's what friendships are. That's what people do. I think that's what it is for most of you. So it's tricky. So the physical body, when did it start doing this? I think this happened more for you all as you got older. So I think it could even be once you were in your teenage years, young adult years. I feel like it took a little bit of time for your body to start being like, I can't maintain this anymore. I need to create safety for myself. My energy is too tired. And that's when it started just gaining weight. And I feel like for you, it might have felt like night and day. One day you're fine, and all of a sudden this weight came, and then you thought, okay, well, it'll go away. It's a little weird, but it'll go away, and it never did. And I feel like just like some of the other piles here, despite what you would do, despite how good your diet is, it seems like the weight doesn't really want to leave. Like maybe you lose like a pound or two, but people will look at everything and say, you should be losing pounds and pounds. It should be fine. But what I get is the root cause is that this isn't actually a food problem. This, or an exercise problem, I should say that. This truly feels like a boundary setting problem. Your energy that you have doesn't feel like you're able to say no, that you're able to essentially guard it. So it started to basically take control into its old hands and take this extra physical layer to keep people further away and to keep it as an armor. Some recommendations that I'm getting rid away just from these 4 cards here is saying how to start learning to set boundaries, how to start knowing what is too much and what is actually not draining for you. You get the contemplation card. It says spend time alone meditating upon what you truly desire. And this is really going to call on doing some reflection on, are there some people where you go and see them and you feel happy, light, and rejuvenated after seeing them? If you feel that way, and you feel that way for the whole interaction, not just parts of it with some really low parts, some parts where you felt guilty, that's not the right person. That is a manipulative relationship. That seems like the narcissistic kind of tendencies that this pile might come across. So you really want to just reflect on what people feel good. If none of them feel good, then this is a really good sign that it might just be time for you to realize that you're ready for a whole new group of people that are going to be so much better. And that's why it's okay to let go of these ones, because these ones are making you tired. They're making your body feel unsafe. They are making you feel unable to say no, because yes, saying no can be hard, but there's some people that make saying no literally impossible. And I think these are some of the people that you have. Like I literally see this hand that says no and a stop sign, and it literally tells me that you could like write no on your hand and put it in their face, and they'll keep saying, are you sure? What if we just do this instead? Or they don't even acknowledge that you said like a no-like response. So it's really telling me that I know this could be tricky. I know that it's so not fun to leave friends and feel alone, but it's saying this is the leveling up process. This is getting rid of the old, the people that they're literally holding you back. They want to hold you back in the sense that if you realize that you're giving them too much energy, you are not standing up for yourself, you're not essentially holding them accountable for their decisions and their actions, then they're not going to have you and be able to kind of use you when they want, get what they want from you. And I know that doesn't sound nice, but they just have built up this pattern and they have this expectation of you now. So the only way to really break this is to discard or remove these people from your life. Just maybe don't answer them as much when they call. You can even honestly say, I just don't think that this friendship is in alignment with me anymore. And that's really hard, but I mean, that sends a very clear, non-confusing message to the world, to them, to the universe, that you want something better and something different. So this says, set limits with draining people. When people are depleting you, kindly set a limit, such as, I only have 10 minutes to listen now. Such self-care is respectful and empowering. So that might be actually a really good way to start. Because I know if we don't like saying no to people, just all of a sudden saying goodbye to them might be hard. So here's a great first step, is just starting saying, I only have 10 minutes. I only have 5 minutes. I gotta go. and really being firm about it. If they start telling a story, be like, I'm so sorry, I gotta go now, I only had 5 minutes, and then you hang up the phone. Yeah. Oh, so that really also does make sense here about like taking your power back. And I really think that this is gonna help. So how I'm seeing this is that when I see yellow, I really see that it's taking your power back. And then for the pink here, it tells me that it's gonna really show to yourself, to your body, that you're gonna stand up for it and you love it. It's the first priority. And this is really what it's wanting, to start to let go of that weight. So the best way to make sure that your body feels safe is to start saying no and standing up for it. Because that's why the weight's there. That's what it really wants. Breathe. It says breath. Breath is sacred. To replenish yourself, slowly inhale. Wellness and clarity to a count of 6. Then exhale, stress to a count of 6. So this is really great. I was just saying this to the last pile, how our breath is so powerful, because as you breathe in, you're breathing in that life force energy into your body, and as it goes into your body, it literally removes anything that no longer serves you, anything you no longer need, and every time you breathe in, it does that for you. So to take a deep breath is to really make sure it's going throughout the whole body, circulating anything and releasing it. So it's suggesting to you to maybe try doing like a guided 10-minute breath work every day. That might seem like a lot to you, might seem uncomfortable, but that's a really great way to physically show your body you're prioritizing it and you're trying to nurture and nourish it in a healthy way. And also helping some of this like lower energy get out of your body and be refueled by this life force energy will be. Okay, sorry, my camera battery just died there. So as I was saying, and you will figure this out for yourself, but just how I know how to best explain it is that if someone believes in something so deeply that nothing can work out for them, that they're just so in this belief cycle about them, they actually don't see outside of them unless it affects them directly in a negative way, because that goes along with the belief system and the stories they tell themselves again and again, day after day. So the person that is a taker who can't receive the healing you so desperately want to offer to them, when you put that good energy at them, it kind of just goes goes over their head. So you're giving a lot. There's no gratitude there, really. There's no healing energy. There's no change. There's no energy that's being given back to you. It's just like, you can keep giving to me. I might take some of it to feel better, but I'm not actually going to recognize anything that you're saying. So it feels draining because you're basically talking at a wall. But a person who comes to you and is in a place where they're really being accountable and saying, I want change in my life. What can I do to create that? And when you say something, it's like they have an open hand. It's going in, they're digesting it, and then they'll say something back like, oh, is this why this happens sometimes? How would that look like for me? What is your advice on this? Like, you can just tell that it's going in, they're digesting it, they're understanding it, and they're asking more questions on how to do that or what that means. Or they'll say in a different language what you've just said. And throughout that encounter with them, they're not going back to things are never working out for me, people hate me, my life sucks. They're literally saying, I'm so excited for change. I'm so excited for what this session will bring my way. I'm really feeling good today. Like, it's all good. It's not just like one positive thing and then back to the negative stuff. So that's like how I've noticed that these people are the people who are ready to receive and not just take. So they give back gratitude, lots of gratitude, and that actually can re-energize you. So the difference between the draining encounter is that you're throwing it at them, being like, look, 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 I have the solution. It's so obvious. Let me help you. I want to love you. And then it's just draining because nothing's coming back. And then the receiver is saying, I'm so grateful. I have so much love for this opportunity. I am so blessed. And that energy comes back your way. So maybe that will help you understand a little bit how to gauge why you feel exhausted and why you don't feel exhausted with some people. But I have a thought here that a lot of the people are more draining for you right now than they aren't. And I really want to reiterate that that is really coming from an example of what relationships dynamics should look like that came from childhood, from a parent, from it could even be a sibling that you really liked. You saw them always doing it, but I really feel like this was more. It feels more like from a feminine side, like it was a female. I even get like a good Christian woman for some of you who thought to be a good Christian woman she had to overgive. That's very specific. If that doesn't resonate, just leave it. It is a general card reading, so there might just be that one thing that someone needed to hear there. Okay, we're gonna move on to these other cards here. Okay, so interesting. So I see that some of you are trying to find, I think it's a romantic partnership, someone who's aligned with you. I think some people in this pile might have been married and divorced. And some of you just never really quite found the one that resonated with you, that felt like your person. And here I got act as if your partner is here. Whether you have someone in your life or not, act as if they are with you so you will always consider them. So this is I actually honestly get the energy from this is that you've had a lot of not so great partners in your life, romantic partners. And how I see this is that this would come from these sort of taker people, this taker energy, this my life is hard, the world's out to get me. I feel like vengeful kind of partners where when you broke up with them, it was really hard to get rid of them. It felt scary, it felt unsafe. I feel like that's the kind of energy of partnership that you've previously had. People who are very controlling. That's what I'm trying to say. People who thought that you belonged to them. And this could also be another reason why, like, this makes sense that your body physically hasn't felt safe and has stored this weight to feel safe and create an armor. So, why this card's coming up, this is saying, how can you, sorry, what was this one for? Or what does your body need to start to let go of the weights? And this is what these two cards came up for. So this is, I think, to start to feel truly loved for who you are and in a relationship that's supportive. So that all makes perfect sense for your body letting go of the weight and feeling safe and supported and not like it has to be defensive all the time. So this one is saying the best way to attract in like these really supportive, romantic, so soulmate aligned kind of relationships would be to start by setting boundaries and kicking out those toxic people out of your life. Yeah, that's that's kind of how I see it, because it's really going to change like the frequency you're on right now. And once you've like set those standards and you've fully made it clear that you want this abundant life, you want to be joyous, you want to be confident, you want to feel good, and that's everything this pile has told me, that this pile here, you are ready to take accountability and responsibility, and you want to do the work now. You don't want this life anymore. So the frequency that you're at, you're gonna keep going up. You're gonna go up, and this soulmate relationship is pretty high vibes. So how I see it, like I really see them, they're like dancing and floating on the moon kind of energy. So you're gonna have a few things to go through, a few things to work through. And I have to say, this is all emotional. If any of the things you're saying to yourself is, I can't have this relationship because of this weight, nothing about the physical exterior is coming up here. This is all saying it's the frequency, it's what you allow people to treat you. It's how you allow people to treat you. It's what you say you're worth that needs to change. It's nothing to do with the actual physical. It's all the emotional and the values that you have for yourself. So please don't get that the weight is a block in any way, because this, like a divine partnership like this, outer looks don't even matter. It's such a strong soul connection. It's such a strong energy connection, and just it's so supporting. It's really just seeing the soul and the soul, each other's soul. It's really cool. So yeah, I just see as you work your way up, you're gonna start eventually finding each other in the same frequency. And I would imagine that this soulmate as well is probably working through some things too. So if you start raising that vibration and you're like, why isn't he coming in? Why isn't she coming in? Don't worry. They also have some things they have to do to meet you on that um, frequency, because the relationship, this soulmate contract, I feel like the relationship is to be very supportive and loving and very high vibrational. So both of you will meet when you're at that frequency for each other. Super cool to see. And then here it says, look to your inner strength. You are stronger than you realize. I really like this. I like that it's 11. The 11, honestly, this card really feels like it's connecting with the healer card over here. You're a powerful healer. Keep up the great work. I really feel like you're on a bit of a journey of finding out who these people are and how to attract in the right clients, the receivers, not the takers, the ones who are ready for growth and change and need that support that you can offer as a healer, versus the ones who just want to take more energy and just want someone to create pity for them. It's just a weird frequency. And it's okay to have compassion for those people. But the problem is if you give them your energy, you're going to be exactly where you are right now. And you're done with that. That's what I'm seeing here. You're so done with that. You're ready for your abundance. So this card's super cool. I really feel like it's 100% light worker stuff. Super healing. I mean, there's a rainbow in her hair. There's a rainbow around the inner self. There's so much here about healing. I would say it's energy work, but honestly, there's so many practices now where people incorporate energy work into like physical healing. So I don't want to put anyone in a box here, but I just see that whatever you're doing, you're great at it. You're very powerful. You're very strong. And you might have forgotten that along the way with all these people, all these takers, all these people just making you feel small and drained. It really might have made you forget how powerful and divine you are. So as you start to take those breath work exercises, as you start to take time to really reflect on who's in alignment with you, who makes you feel good, who's draining, who isn't, who's the receiver, this is going to help you come into that power and really feel that strength within you that you have. All right, advice and guidance from your highest self to help you with this unwanted weight and to help you get into this abundance. So Citrine, are you lacking confidence? What do you find difficult to accept about yourself? Acknowledge your magnificence and focus on what you do well to increase your self-esteem. It is safe to be powerful in a loving way. Shine your light to reach your full potential. I actually love this card. I hope it feels as powerful for you as the language felt for me for you. It's super amazing. There is like a affirmation on the back that you can choose to say if you like. It says, Angel of Self-Confidence, I am courageous and shine my light brightly for all to see. I'm confident in my abilities. I honor and respect myself for who I am and what I can do. I willingly allow others to see my magnificence. So really saying you're not afraid to be shining bright, to be joyous, to be beautiful. I love that. Great, great card for you all. Okay, and the other one here, this one is Leopard Skin Jasper. I'm also a huge fan of Jasper as it's so beautiful, and there's just every cool crystal that just seems so like impossible to be created naturally is Jasper. So here we go. Are people around you suddenly changing their tune? Have you decided it's time to change yours? Do you need to be more flexible like a leopard? Stalk yourself mentally. Oh, stack yourself. Sorry. Stalk yourself. That's so creepy. Stack yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. Observe yourself and those around you. This is a really good card to go with that contemplation. Sorry, I don't know what's going on with my language here. To go with the contemplation time. And it really is just reaffirming that it's really best to go within, see what's going on, what people are doing around you, how it's making you feel. Are they good for you? Are they no longer aligned with you? Are they okay, but you want better? Still a good sign to get rid of those people because you're going for an upgrade and you deserve it. Don't be afraid to be on your own because it won't be for long, because you're just going to have an even better group of people come in. So the affirmation of this one: Angel of flexibility. I am flexible and adaptable. I objectively observe circumstances and seize new opportunities as situations naturally shift and change. I bend and flex with the flow of life around me. There is no resistance, only willingness. I like that one too. Super good. Okay, I think that might be all that I have for you all for this pile. Okay, just actually as the last thing to comment here, I kept noticing the seagull all of a sudden in this card. And seagulls represent, like, if you've not felt ready previously to make a change, to start doing different routines that you know you should be doing, this is really coming forward to say, now's the time for you. You are exactly in the right place you should be right now. It's time to take charge. It's time to go for the things you want, to make the changes you need. You're strong, you have the stamina, you have the spiritual strength, and you are so ready to soar above these restrictions, to overcome these limits, to step into you, the real you. That's what I get from that seagull. Okay, that is it. If you would like to receive the Reiki, it will be at the end of all these card readings. If not, I will catch you around. Best of luck on your journeys. You have a lot ahead of you. You're going to be doing some interesting stuff here. Hello, pile 3. You all chose this amber one. So I'm just going to put them all down and then we'll look at the cards that you got. Should also add that you got, most people only got 2 of these cards and you got 4. So you have a couple of extra cards here. Okay, maybe I'll just, oh yeah, perfect. You can still see it there. Okay, I'll put that there. Okay, so just initial things I'm getting tuning in is, as soon as I tune into your energy, I feel exhausted. I feel so tired. Just truly exhaustion is the best words I have for it. And I get that this is on like an energy level of giving too much and having too many people take from you and not receiving anything back. So couple different things here. Sorry, we are going to get into the main question, but what I'm getting right away that seems very important is saying that a lot of the exhaustion is coming from attracting in some people who are just taking and not giving or respecting the time. But there are some people who want to give back to this pile, who want to show appreciation and love. But I almost feel like for you, there's a block on feeling okay to accept it. So how I see that is that this is actually the root of the exhaustion, is the not being able to receive it back, to receive that helpful, loving, supportive, I just want to help you because I love doing it and I love you energy. And like I said, it doesn't mean that necessarily everyone in your life is offering it back, but what I see is that it's just not coming back at you at all because those who are bringing it back, there's like a block there that you don't like taking it. You don't like accepting it. I think there's like a form, you feel a bit guilty for it or something along those lines. And then there's a huge message here around letting your hair down. Literally, hair seems to be the word they're using. You either love your hair, love it, but it's just like literally it's showing me in all these cards that it's time to just let it go crazy, let it go wild. Don't worry about what it looks like. Just, I don't know, I feel like just like let the wind blow through it. Take it out of that ponytail. Take it out of that tight bun on top of your head. Just let it be free. Let it be wild. I don't know. It's a very specific message for somebody here, but it's very adamant. And there's also like this funny image that was showing me of peanut butter, or sorry, not peanut butter, of gum stuck in someone's hair and like needing help to put peanut butter in it to remove it. Once again, this is a super specific message. So if this isn't resonating, don't worry. This is just for someone specifically who's seeing this. There's something coming through about, for some reason, that's important. That friend helping you get the gum out of your hair or something like that. I don't know. It's very interesting. Must be important for something. So we're just going to move more into specifically the question we're all here to have answered. Why is your body keeping this weight? What need is this providing your body with? Keeping the weight that you're not wanting. Let's see here. So initially it was in these two cards that I had pulled asking that specific question. And I do think that ties into... okay, sorry, I just got it. Okay, took me a second. Sometimes I have to talk a little bit for it to come through clearer. So what I was getting is that your body is, like, it recognizes that you're giving a lot. You're giving a lot and a lot and a lot. And because there's not this, like, openness to receiving it back, and I want to make sure I word this carefully. So if someone's offering to help you out with paying for something, or if someone's offering you a free coffee, to buy you lunch, to repay you for your services, to tip you for your services, to pay you extra for your services, to pay you at all, to like, you know, like if you did something kind, they want to say thank you by buying you a small gift or a gift card. And I feel like often you're saying, no, it's not necessary. Oh, no, it's good. Thanks. It's okay. Thanks. Like you're coming from a place of being like, oh, I really love doing this. And I don't want them to think that I was just doing it because I expected something. I totally get where you're coming from, but the problem is that this is happening all the time, that your body is literally like, okay, we have to keep the energy that we have. We have to keep what we get because all our energy is going away, so we just need to keep whatever energy we get in. So the only energy I see coming your way is food energy. So I see that your body, from a physical standpoint, is like, I'm going to take this food energy and I'm going to hang on to it and I'm going to store it because I don't know when I'm going to get this energy back, when I'll get any energy back. So I have to hang on to it just in case I really need it because I'm already so tired, and we just want to make sure that we have enough energy to just functionally feel okay. So I really see that this block for the weight, why the body is storing it, is basically because it has a need for you to receive some energy back or to keep some of that energy for yourself. Either one works. Both would be great if you could find a bit of a balance between the both of them, because like we said, you never have to go all one way. You can never give your love, never give your time anymore, or you only receive, you never give. That's not at all what this is saying. It's just saying it needs more balance because right now it's so exhausted and it's not feeling like it has enough energy to just do the basic daily tasks. So if you're going through spurts where you gain more weight than normal, or if you gain weight in a certain area, this would be a really good time to tune in and reflect and think, Have I been saying yes more than I have the energy to lately? Have I been working but not receiving any compensation, whether it was monetary, whether it was through love and support with someone's time, someone else giving their time for you? Just really reflecting and seeing if there was a pattern. Did you start to gain more weight when you got so busy and you haven't had time to get a full night's rest for 2 or 3 weeks? It's saying to pay attention to that. Don't focus on the food, because the food isn't the problem here. The food, I know some people would say, well, it's the stuff you're eating that makes people fat. If you read any study, like, they all contradict themselves. One will say fat makes you fat. One will say sugar makes you fat. One will say like a totally different thing. So really what I'm getting here is that the reason why the body's hanging onto it and will hang onto it more is depending on how exhausted it's feeling and how much it feels like it needs to keep any extra energy that you're giving it. Um, but as a positive note coming through, it says the worst is now behind you and positive new experiences are on the horizon. So how I see this is that you are coming aware to the fact that you're very exhausted. You are becoming very wise to the fact to why you're exhausted. And I think a lot of you are starting to pick up on exactly everything I'm saying. I think you might say, I'm really tired of being a giver. I'm really tired of people taking. You could be using this sort of language in your day to day. When I see the amber, I think of very wise, observant observations are coming in. That's how I see it. Like, amber is just made from like old trees. So I just think about that. I think it's like the what is it called? Is it like the resin of old trees? I don't know. Whatever it is, it always represents great wisdom and clarity to me. And I'm seeing that you're starting to find that. And I just see that you're wanting to feel good. You want to feel great. You want to laugh more. You want to be more playful. You want to just do things and have the energy to do them. And you deserve all that. You deserve all of that. So that is so great to see that that's coming through. I did say at the start that I was going to ask what was the root of this, like, when did it start? Um, so interesting. I think you guys have always been a giver. I don't think this like necessarily started at a certain age. I don't think it was just like, bam, now I'm giving too much. I think you've always given a lot. I think when it started to really negatively impact you energetically was in your early 20s, maybe when you're 18, which is also interesting because I feel like there's kind of like this societal norm that told you that it was just because you were getting older that this was happening. That, oh, you're tired now? Well, it's just because you're aging. Welcome to adulthood. Like, they're just saying things like this. But the reality is that you're just exhausted from giving so much of your energy, your life force to other people, and not um, having been taught how to receive it back, how to get it back so that your cup isn't empty, so that you aren't exhausted. So, the other question I had asked is, what does your body need to start to let go of this weight? That was a little bit answered, I think, already, but let's really go into the specifics on the advice that's coming your way. The first one I'm attracted to is observe, don't absorb. If you're talking on this, if you are taking on the stress of others, try observing the situation from a distance. This will increase your energy. So this right away tells me that you all are very empathic, and that one of the reasons why you might be more prone to being extreme givers is because you get into someone's energy, you get into someone's bubble, you're near them, and you feel their struggle, you feel their pain, you feel how bad they feel, and you have a lot of like compassion for them. You're very kind. You do feel a lot of feelings for them. And the problem is that sometimes you can go near them and then all of a sudden you're like, because I can feel this and I can feel this within them, I have to take on the responsibility of feeling like this and solving this problem for them. So it's saying, don't do that. I know that's always easier said than done. It's saying it's literally said, try observing the situation from a distance. So from a distance might even mean so that you're not so close to them that their emotions are overwhelming you. And then it says that this will increase your energy, and this will also help you learn that it's not yours. You can be near them, you can understand they're going through a hard time, but if you start to keep that energy as you walk away from them, just literally say, "This is not mine. I release you now. I release you now. You are not mine." And that's really going to say that you can observe how they're feeling, you can observe how it's affecting them, you can observe how that would be tiring on their life, but you do not have to take on the responsibility or make it your truth or your thing, because it's not. It's not anything that you're responsible for. You're simply here to be a compassionate, understanding, loving human being who can observe that, not have to fix, heal, or change them. It's kind of part of their journey, right? Like their lesson is to figure out for themselves, and if you try to take that on or do the work for them, most of the time it won't work and you'll just be tired at the end of it. And other times you kind of take away that lesson for them that would empower them to have done it on their own and figure it out on their own. Okay. Other advice for how you can start to release this. So once again, they're all going to be suggestions on how to stop giving so much or taking on other people's energy or taking responsibility for other people's situations. That is a very common theme in all these cards. So here it says, let go of being a martyr. Find a balance between giving and receiving. It's not healthy to give so much that you feel ill or exhausted. And how I see this, like it says, let go of being a martyr. I actually see that some of you do have a little bit of, you do identify a little bit with being a person that people might go up to in a public place and say, "This is my life problems. It's been really hard. I don't know what to do about it." And I think some of you might think, "Oh, I'm really healing them." But really, I feel like what you're doing is kind of saying, like, this always happens to me. People always put their emotions on me. People always put their stress on me. Um, and I think they're finding you that way. They're kind of finding you being like, she's told the universe, she's put it out there that she will listen to me, so I will tell her everything. But honestly, as soon as I find another person like her, I'll tell them too. Or tell another person like him, I'll tell them too. And they're really not doing anything that's giving them healing. They're doing things because they just do that. They just kind of do that. They kind of take energy from other people. They feel good for a little bit, and then they go, and it's like these people are seeking pity, and these people are seeking to have confirmations and validations about why they haven't changed and about why they should be okay to be stuck where they are. They're not wanting to get out of it. I mean, they might say consciously that, "Oh yeah, my life sucks, but I want it to be different." But subconsciously, they're like, "Yeah, my life sucks, things don't change. I'm happy where I am because things can't change." It sounds so weird. I feel like this pile's like, what? What does that even mean? Some people are actually very happy, feeling really sorry for themselves, and they like the energy of people feeling compassionate and sorry for them. They like the attention of that. So these type of people are the people that are finding you and spilling their guts out to you. And the universe is saying, find the balance, because you will stop attracting those types of people who aren't really getting any healing from you. They're just taking energy, and you're going to start actually just attracting people who could receive the healing you're willing to offer, could receive this gift of your compassion, and not and like return it with this high vibration of gratitude and healing, like just being grateful that you helped heal them, help hold space for them. But I think right now you're just getting people who are like, thanks, and they're walking away with your energy, where if you had the people who are of a higher vibration and are coming to you, I don't think they're going to just come out of nowhere and pour out their soul. That feels very low frequency to me. That feels like taker energy. If you're working as, say, a counselor and someone's paying for you to hold that space for them, then that would be the more appropriate situation where if they're not exchanging it through gratitude, that energy, they're exchanging it through monetary, um, financial compensation. So there is still that exchange. It won't be so draining. And I feel like this is going to be a really big one for some of you. I feel like some of you hate that I might have just said, um, that when people come up to you and dump their shit on you, that's actually not a good thing. It's a bad thing. It's like exhausting you. These aren't good, interactions. They're very low vibe. They're very, um, like I said, taker energy. They're leaving you in a worse place than where you were before they came over. And it's not doing a lot for them, right? Like it's just kind of fueling that addiction to that, being in that low state and having people feel sorry for them. And um, it's just, it's a very addictive energy frequency for people to be in. And it's almost like you're like feeding that addiction of theirs. Maybe that would make more sense about why it's not great to do. If you're just having a conversation with someone in a grocery line, say, and it just feels like lighthearted and they're joking around, that's good. There's nothing wrong about that. But it's literally those interactions where people are like, yeah, my life is horrible. I think I'm dying of this disease. And it seems to you like someone's being very vulnerable, but it's actually a story they've repeated so many times to other people. Sorry, I'm spending a long time on this, but I feel like this is something that needs to shift, is essentially calling out to these people on an energetic level that you want to be there to support them. But the problem is that it's not the right type of people to make your body feel rejuvenated and energized and fulfilled. Like I said, there's no exchange there. Look for interactions to help these people when there is at least a monetary exchange or some sort of donation or gift exchange. And there's got to be something, because it's just so depleting and exhausting for you otherwise. And I mean, you always can do whatever you want, right? Like just do whatever feels good for you. But this is just what's coming through to help remove this extra weight, to help get rid of, um, yeah, the weight that you're feeling, the weight that you want gone. It will bring so much more energy to just stop calling in, stop putting it out there that you want to have those interactions. Because, like I said, on a surface level, they seem good, they seem cool, they seem helpful, they seem like, wow, you're just like really helping people. But on the energy level, it's not playing out like that. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit to a more positive card, not such a serious card. It says, watch for the cosmic wink. Magic comes, magic comes, cosmic wink. Magic comes when spirit winks at us. Stay aware of synchronicities that provides unexpected answers. Positive forces are always at play in your life. So, very good card. I think this is going to be really good for knowing that you are supported. There is a higher energy out there, whether you like using the word universe, God, the cosmos, life force energy. It's looking out for you. It's paying close attention to you, and it will help build up that energy within you. It will provide you with that energy. You are made out of that cosmic energy. So how I see it is just being aware that you are supported and you don't have to physically create all the energy for your body to sustain. So doing breath work would be a good way to consciously breathe in and call in that life force energy. Doing a meditation where you visualize just a pillar of light coming into you and refueling your body with life force energy. I feel like for this pile, something about sacred symbols can be very powerful for you. Like maybe there's a symbol you look at and you feel like it just charges you, charges a battery within you. That one's a little more specific for somebody, but I do see that symbolism and like ancient signs and symbols is really important to someone here. So that's a great way to support bringing in more life force energy that isn't through food and isn't through just trying to create it within yourself, all by yourself. So just to recap here, there's a few different things suggesting to help you create this energy so your body can start to feel like it doesn't need to hang on to any energy you give it. Is being open to receiving from other people, whether it's their time, it's compensation financially, whether it's through, say, them offering you lunch or help with something. Start saying yes. Start saying thank you. Another way is to try to consciously realize that because you can feel someone else's emotions, you can understand where they're coming from, and you can feel a lot of compassion for them, that it's just your job to witness that, not to hold it, not to take on it, not to make it part of your journey. To be consciously aware. And if you accidentally realize that you're starting to pick it up, you catch yourself and you say, I release you, you're not mine, I release you. The other thing is to try to shift any language or thought patterns you're having around these type of taker energies about calling them in because you want to help them, you can understand them, you want them to be able to get anything off their chest that they might need, to essentially like stop calling out to that kind of person and start saying things like, I am only attracting in those who are in alignment with my highest good in love and light, or I only attract in those who energetically are energetically ready to receive. That would even be a good way, because at least if you're coming across people, they're going to be people who are ready to receive and not take. That's very important. It will be receiving energy, which is gentle and grateful. Gratitude gives us energy as well. If someone has an interaction with us and they're very grateful and just happy and in a loving state that they came across us, that feeds our energy as well. So if they're saying thank you so much, try to change the language to something like, you're so welcome. Not like, oh, it was nothing, don't worry about it. Make sure you're not pushing your hand away. Like some people do like a little like shove down in front of them, like, oh, it's nothing. I don't know if you can really see that action from here. That's another way of you're literally pushing away that gratitude energy, that thank you energy. You're like, nope, you keep it. I don't want it. Go away. So maybe just try making sure you're keeping your arms to your side. Don't cross them and block it off that way. Just try to be very aware of the ways that you've learned to subconsciously say no to that type of receiving back energy. You can also, if you really like using your hand, try taking your hand open and putting it towards your heart. That is so powerful. It might feel very uncomfortable, but there's no better way to say, I am accepting and receiving this gratitude or this energy back than that way, by like scooping it and putting it right in the heart. So I know that one's very uncomfortable sometimes for people. So if you can get to that stage, that is amazing. That is the most powerful way you can truly say you are accepting that and putting it into your heart center. Okay. All right, we're going to get back on schedule here. So it says, meditate on the spaciousness of air. When you are stuck, picture yourself in an open, airy space with a room to move and breathe. Let yourself feel free and empowered. This one I saw is just when you're feeling really stressed, really anxious, really like worried about something. I feel like pull that elastic out of your hair and just start waving it around. I don't know if all you have long hair, but I literally just see someone like, it's not like quite head banging. I just see like shaking your head around, like being free. Like you're literally shaking out any of those lower thoughts that are stuck in your head. You're literally like shaking them out of the ear on each side. If you can like picture that. and realizing that there's no restriction around you. There's no small box or confines. There's nothing closing in on you. You have so much space around you. You are free. That was a limiting belief. That was a thought that was taking hold of you. Literally shake that head around, get that thought out, and see how much room you have around you. That pressure doesn't actually exist. It's just a misconception that fear was creating within you. I hope that makes sense. I literally see this lady just like shaking her head both ways. Feels really good. Okay. It says actions speak loudly, express your love through actions. And this one I think is also specific on how to re-energize yourself. Because I see energy here. Got a lot of energy that you channel out, like so much. It's almost ridiculous how much energy you channel out. It's amazing that you still even have any energy for yourself, like at all. I mean, you don't feel like you do, but somehow you're still getting up and doing things in the day and interacting, and that's very impressive with how much energy you're putting out there. So that's cool in that sense. But how I see this is actions speak loudly, express your love through actions. I see this as love for yourself. Show yourself. Don't just keep saying, like, I will do this. I should do this. This is a physical body issue. This is a physical body wanting physical support and energetic support from you to know that it is going to be prioritized over other people first. So how I see it is like literally take actions now on how you're going to start supporting this body of yours, this beautiful body of yours. How are you going to start doing things to feed it energetically that isn't just through food? And I'm not saying that, like I said, nothing about this is saying that your food is bad. It's saying that your food is trying so hard to hang on to things, everything that is put in it, that it needs to start seeing that you're going to give it energy in a different way. So a good, interesting thing you could do, especially since this pile seems so energetically gifted, like I feel like you literally put energy out. I would think it'd be very powerful if you would like put your hands on your heart every morning, or on your gut, or on any kind of part of your body that maybe you don't love, and just send it loving energy saying like, today I support me. Today I'm going to do things to energize my body. Some kind of affirmation around that, like saying that you are literally taking the time to focus on sending energy from your hands into your body. And how to do this is by visualizing that life force energy as a pillar of light going down through your head, out through your hands, back into your body. Like you're not sending it out to someone else, you're sending it to yourself, and you're worth it. And I also think it's important that you see that this energy can be refueled within you from. So I know that that can seem a bit tedious for some people or a little bit annoying, but it's really coming up as it needs like some sort of action that you're going to do every day to show it that you are supporting it and you are going to re-energize it. And like I said, because this is like an energy problem, not a food problem, I think the only way to start to feel less exhausted, to let go of extra weight or extra stress even, or like just like your body right now feels like it's in very much of distress state, is going to be to like say every day you do breath work and you breathe in life force energy and it circulates through your body, like really showing your body that it can move within you. When you take in life force energy, it moves, it clears out, it doesn't need to hang on. That's really important to tell it and teach it, and it's going to take repetitions because this is a pattern that it's done for years and years. So just doing it once isn't going to be enough for it to be like, oh, it's safe now. It's like, oh, this is new, this is interesting. And the more you do it, I think the more it's going to feel supported and like, oh, this is okay. This is something that's regular now. This is something I can rely on. We are being prioritized now. There's lots of energy moving in within me, and tomorrow there'll be even more. You need to almost like teach your body that it can rely on you to give it the energy it needs and support it. Okay, we're getting close to the end here. Sorry, I feel like this one got a little bit long. Okay, so Amber, this was advice from your highest self here. So it says, are you allowing someone or something to drain your energy? Establish boundaries. Surround yourself in a protective shield to deflect negative energy. Tap into the ancient wisdom within to transform your life. Okay, so here's an affirmation you can say if you like. It says, Angel of Boundaries. I have the courage to set boundaries with love and grace. I am protected from negative energy. I am connected with powerful ancient wisdom that keeps me safe and provides me with the know how to make positive changes. Yeah, so definitely something to consider. I have like a little video on how to energy shield. It's very basic. You can also just Google it and it will tell you on how to put an energy shield around yourself so that when you are in these like interactions with other people that you don't take on the emotions as easily. You do have to put an energy shield on every day. And if you've been in a very high emotional, like low emotional environment, you might have to put it on a couple times in a day. So if you work at a hospital, if you work at a restaurant, if you work with patients who have like a mental illness or have a lot of depression, um, that would be a place where you'd put on an energy shield a couple of times. This also does usually help with losing weight, as it creates like this support system that the body becomes more supported by. So it won't just be the physical body now that has to protect itself from like these negative energies or these energies taking from it. It will have like this shield, this bubble of light to help keep that away. I mean, like I said, it's not they all end all, because when you verbally speak, you can be agreeing to giving your energy and your time or not receiving things, but it does help with just not taking on any extra stuff in that environment. And as this pile seems very empathic, I do recommend energy shielding, especially as you're just starting all this and you're starting to really set boundaries and learn to say no and start saying yes to receiving it back. It's hard. It's really hard to get into that when we've had a pattern for so long. So energy shielding could be a really good thing to do to just help you while you're starting to figure out what works for you, how you're going to do this, and how to essentially find that balance that you need between giving and receiving. So smoky quartz here, very grounding stone. Says, are your emotions blocked? Are emotions preventing you from moving forward? Embrace your feelings, both positive and negative. Release anger and resentment. Watch your emotions be transformed into one that frees you to live and love fully. Angel of Transformation. I am free of emotional baggage. Like a butterfly that has emerged from a cocoon, I now enjoy a state of emotional balance. I fully appreciate this transformation and continue to allow my feelings to make themselves known to me. Very good card here. So I guess just from reading this card, I got the impression that a lot of you are not frightened by taking on the negative or lower vibrational emotions of others, but you don't necessarily like reflecting on the emotions within yourself, which is really interesting to see because you seem quite good at holding space and being compassionate and understanding for those types of lower emotions. So I almost wonder if it's more of one of those things where it feels uncomfortable and a bit scary, but once you actually look at them and acknowledge them, the fear you had to see them will just dissipate because you've done it 100 times for other people. You know why it happens. You have a lot of compassion. It's almost like the daunting, what's that called? Before you see something, it can sometimes seem way worse than it is. And then when you see it, you're like, oh, that wasn't so bad. That's how I feel like for really starting to look at this inner child stuff, this emotions that come up, these triggers that come up. It's just saying it's actually, when you look at it, you're going to see it that you so got this because you deal with these kind of emotions all the time. Okay, so I hope that was clear. I hope everything made sense for you all. There were some tougher messages to hear on this pile, so please just always ever take what resonates and just leave the rest. I only want to read what comes through so that it helps you all, and that is like the only reason why I'm here. I don't really have any other intentions than that. So just take what resonates and discard the rest. Leave it on YouTube, whatever feels good or right for you. All right, you guys have a good one. I might see some of you in the Reiki healing session, and I might see some of you some other time. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Reiki healing part of this card reading. Here we have a rutilized smoky quartz tower. I'm using this to help channel Reiki energy to the collective Acacious readings or any viewers who are watching this video. So you do just have to affirm or say yes if you would like to receive this Reiki clearing. I'm going to focus on overall balancing the chakras, and I am going to put a little extra intention for the heart chakra since that was a common thing that came up for everyone. So that being said, I'm just going to get started. Please take 4 deep breaths to ground yourselves, or visualize roots growing down from your feet, whichever way works best for you. Please do so now just so you can best receive this healing. Also, please do not be driving a car or doing anything that you shouldn't be drowsy or tired for, just because it can make you a little out of it or a little tired while you're receiving Reiki. All right, we're going to begin. So I will be silent for about the next 10 minutes or so, and I'll let you know when we're all done. Okay, that is it for the Reiki healing. I did get a message that if you feel called to it, consider eating an orange today. And I actually got that it would be good for balancing the third eye. I know the third eye is dark blue, but it just told me that it would really like that. And also for some of you, it was specifically to help support feeling more playful and more joyous in your life, in your body right now. But there is definitely a bit of the need for both those chakras. So if you resonate with it, and if you've been thinking about oranges lately, yeah, go eat an orange. All right, now you all take it easy, drink lots of water, and I'll see you around.